Welcome to Bible by the Fire, where we study the Bible by a fire. Each study will be inspirational and applicational, filled with stories and scripture. I look forward to building a close-knit community, so put your prayer requests in the comments and enjoy the study. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Bible by the Fire, where we study the Bible by a fire in DAYZ. I'm laughing because this channel has just gotten out of control, but I love it. I'm going to share with you a very powerful story and some scripture out of Psalm 139 if you want to turn there. But before we do that, if you have any prayer requests, please put them in the comments below. I do pray for them. I take screenshots of them, and I'm praying for them. If you want to update me on your situations that you've let me know of in the past, please feel free to do that in the comments or in the Discord Bible by the Fire tab. I'll try to link that up below. But Psalm 139 tells us that God has a plan for your life, and I thoroughly believe that. And I think that the world challenges that, and evil challenges that, and bad decisions challenge that, but God will keep weaving all of those things masterfully into your life for the better. I really believe that if you keep the faith. There's a story of a young girl named Rose, and Rose was 11 years old when law enforcement found her. She was locked in the closet for the first 11 years of her life. Her parents were drug addicts and drug dealers. It was very abusive. She survived by just eating scraps. She would remembering like eating her own fingernails. She would be so hungry, never went to school, never made friends, never went to a park. Terrible. Horrible, tragic. We saw it on the news when I was a kid. I was 11 years old at the time too. And we saw it on the news. We lived in upstate New York at the time, and my mom's heart just broke for this girl. They didn't say where she lived, where they found her, what state, what city. They didn't even say her last name, for witness protection type reasons. All we knew was her name was Rose. And my mom started fasting and praying for Rose on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, I remember we would be having dinner and Mom would just have something to drink and be like, oh, she's praying for Rose again. And this went on for 4 years of Tuesdays praying for this girl named Rose who we would never meet. And then my dad felt like we need to move. He's a pastor, and I grew up as a pastor's kid, and he felt like this church he started in New York was going well, but just felt it on his heart that he needed to move across the country to Southern California. And so he took a pastoral position. We moved across the country in this small and dying church, just 7 to 12 people showing up. And our first Sunday there, I got my dopey 15-year-old haircut. I was a 15-year-old at the time. And I'm standing there at the doorway with my mom and my dad saying hi to the people as they come in. And there's only a handful of people coming in. And then come this odd-looking family. They're elderly, but they got younger kids. And there's this girl about my age walking with them. And their names were Abe and Ida, and they were just born to be with each other. They were hilarious old folks, but they had been taken in foster kids, etc. And as we greeted them, said, hi, I'm Abe, hi, I'm Ida. It's our first time here at the church. And we were like, wow, it's our first time at the church too. We just moved here. My dad said, yeah, I'm the new pastor here, and it's our first Sunday here as well. Their first Sunday, our first Sunday. And we had a little laugh, and they introduced their 2 sons and then their daughter. And their daughter's name happened to be Rose. And my mom kind of looked at my dad and like, oh, that's interesting. We've been praying for Rose. It can't be, but we've been praying for a girl named Rose. After the message, there was a call to go forward and pray. I think the prayer was about forgiveness and such. And the girl went up, 15 years old. She went up and she knelt at the front, at the altar there, and just prayed. Was praying. And my mom went up to her and said, hi, I'm Lorraine. Can I pray for you about anything? And the girl was in tears. And she said, well, I was actually locked in a closet for the first 11 years of my life. And my parents were terrible. And I'm so glad to be here today. And I've accepted Jesus. And now I'm just praying that I could someday forgive them. And my mom led her to faith in Jesus. And my mom started a 20-year friendship with Rose, the same girl that she had been praying for and fasting for 4 years. We lived 4,000 miles away. We didn't know her last name. We didn't know what city, what town she lived in. And our first Sunday in Palm Desert, California was her first Sunday in Palm Desert, California. And my mom, after praying for this girl for 4 years, was put in a position where she could actually do something about it and influence this young lady's life, and influence her life she did. She actually went on to be on the Montel Williams show and forgive her mother live in front of a live studio audience and share her faith and how Jesus has changed her life and how she's happy. She's now married with children and enjoys a good, fruitful life and is still friends with my mother to this day. As you could do the math, I was 15 at the time. I'm in my 40s now. But you tell me God doesn't have a plan for your life. Psalm 139:16. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days that were ordained for me were written in your book before any of them came to be. How precious are your thoughts towards me, O God. How great is the number of them. If I were to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. We're actually going to spend a couple weeks here on our Sundays in this passage. There's a lot here and it's very inspirational. But for today, that girl Rose suffered some things that were just heart-wrenching. They were terrible. Yet God wove them into her story somehow, some way. I don't understand it, but he did. And I saw firsthand, this is not an internet story. It's an internet story to you, but not to me. To me, I saw it. I was there when they saw that on the news. I was there for those years of my mom praying for this girl we would never meet. And I was there that Sunday when she showed up for the first time, as we were there for the first time. I was there through the youth groups when Rose was growing up. I was there for the summer camps with Rose while she was growing up. I knew her story inside and out. I've been on mission trips with Rose where she shared her testimony. I was there and I saw it firsthand. And somehow, some way, God can take all of the garbage that life throws at us and weave it masterfully into a good and glorious plan. So I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know what you've been through, but God has a book, and in your days, they're all written down. God has a plan. And I sort of think somehow, I don't know, predestination, free will, all of these thoughts that are really above our pay scale, so to speak. They're above our ability to take in. But it seems to me that God has a plan. I know that. But what the part that seems to be in my mind is that even as things happen, God takes them and says, okay, this is how we can weave that into the story. And then something else happens, and this is how this can make that person stronger. Oh, and this was terrible, but here's how we can use it for glory. And I do believe God has good plans for you. His thoughts of love for you are precious, more than the number of them, and more than the number of grains of sand on the shore, the scripture says. So I want to encourage you today in a few ways. One, be praying about God's plan for your life. There is a lot of places of need in this world, and if you're listening to this, you probably have the privilege of having an iPhone or having internet connection, and you probably have an opportunity beyond what you realize to help others around you, even if you yourself are in a difficult place in your life. So I want to encourage you, one, be praying, God, what is your plan for my life? What is my purpose in this world? How can I help make this world a better place? How can I shine your light, your hope, your truth, your joy? How can I bring peace to those who are in need today? How can I bless the people around me today, God? Even if it's as simple as doing the dishes for your spouse, if it's as simple as a simple act, a humble act of service, what is it you can do? How can you carry out God's plan today? And even on a big picture, what is my life supposed to look like? And also to know that God can take all the garbage, all the junk, all the tragedy, all the horror, all the trauma, bring healing, and weave it masterfully into a wonderful plan for your life. I've seen it happen time and time again. This is my life. This is what I do for a living. Every day, all day, it's people and it's helping people along, and it's seeing this transformation that can take place. So just because you're somewhere right now that you don't want to be, doesn't mean it has to stay that way. God can take you to great heights. He can take those dark corners of your life and fill them with His light, and beyond that, let it be an amazing testimony of His greatness, of His love, and bring about a victory in your life. So I want to read that again. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days that were ordained for me were written in your book before any of them came to be. I see it in the scripture. I see it over and over again. God is a plan. God is sovereign. All of these things. And I see it through the scripture, how there's tragedy, there's triumph, there's glory, there's struggle, there's war, there's all kinds of stuff that human beings do that is not good. And yet when all is said and done, everything that's in his word has come about to be true. So I know God has a plan, and I know God has a plan for you. So seek him today. What is that plan? Here's everything that makes up my life. Here's the good things. Here's the bad things. Here's the struggles. Here's the out and out horror and trauma that I've gone through. Lord, here is everything. It's all on the table. Build it into a masterpiece. I want my life to be your masterpiece. There's no way we met Rose by accident. That is absolutely, just utterly, completely impossible apart from the plan of God. So be encouraged today. Be blessed today. Go out and intentionally be a blessing to others today. Speak kindness, be encouraging, share the love of God with people today in how you live and how you behave. And of course, we have that fire deep in our soul that says there's more to life than this. And I am on track with the Lord, and I have hope. I have joy, I have peace, and I'm going to share it. We carry the fire. So go out and carry the fire today. God bless you. Thoroughly, I'm enjoying this channel, and I hope you are as well. Put your prayer requests in the comments. I will pray for them. Others will pray for them. And until next time, keep carrying the fire.